So I was having a conversation with one of my students, and I thought this would be a great learning lesson for you young players out there who aspire to play at the next level. If you want to play high school varsity, or if you want to play in college, or you want to get drafted or play in the major leagues, I think this would be a great conversation to have. And I would love to get your perspective on it. Just comment below if you enjoyed this. Now, what I want to talk about is having a plan, an approach before stepping up to the batter's box, and then executing on it or not executing and then making an adjustment, right? This is what you need to become if you're trying to take the game to the next level. When you get higher, the game isn't going to just be like a baseball on a tee and you're taking your swing and just you're hitting homers and doubles. You have to become a professional, which means you have to make adjustments during the game, during the at bat, and the quicker you can do that, the more success you're going to have as you go up in this game. So before we go into everything, I want you to just see this at bat. Okay. It's just one pitch, actually. So you'll see here, he's pitching it, and you can see he swings and miss it. Now, we talked about this for a good length of time. And what I want to do is first start when you are in the hole. So when you're in the hole, what I would advise you to do is look at when the pitcher warms up. Where is he on the mound? You know, you're a right-handed hitter. You want to start visualizing your success, right? So, or if you're a left-handed hitter, you're visualizing going against the pitcher. So you get yourself mentally locked in. So that's the first thing is like, what pitches is he throwing? Where is he throwing the pitches? Where is the catcher setting up? Is the catcher just setting up middle away, right? The catcher is going to tell you where he likes to throw the baseball. And then you'll see that the catcher will start making a change um, depending on the pitcher, right? So if we're watching the catcher in warmups, he'll be telling you, okay, this guy likes to throw the ball middle away. Okay, so now you can start focusing on hitting that pitch, right? He likes to throw a slide or a curveball. He's going to show everything. So that'd be the first thing I would say is identify where he likes to throw the pitches. Start visualizing yourself doing that. Also, watch where he's at on the rubber. You can see this picture right here. He's on the third base side of the rubber, and he has a three-quarters arm slot. Okay, so not only we know where he's throwing it, we are looking at where he's out on the rubber and his arm slot because that'll tell us the angles that he's going to start pitching towards. Okay, now after you got that information and you visualize yourself going against them, now you're on deck. And on deck, you're going to get your timing, right? You're going to get your rhythm. You're going to start boosting your confidence up, telling yourself, I'm about to crush this guy. I'm about to hammer him, right? You're telling yourself that. And then you're also looking for that pitch that you've seen in the warm up, right? If your goal is, or if you see that he's throwing most of his pitches middle away, then you think, okay, I'm going to be focusing on that pitch, right? The game will give you, no, warm ups will give you all the answers to the test. When you get up to the batter's box, it's like taking the test. All you have to do is execute. But the warm ups and the at bats before is like your pre-test, your practice, your warm up, your homework, right? So that's what we want to do when we are on deck. We start seeing ourselves in the batter's box. We start getting our timing. We start producing our plan. Now, when you get into the batter's box, there are going to be times where, in this situation, okay, he throws a pitch and you don't see the ball well. At that point, you have to make an adjustment, right? And so this is what I shared with him. I shared with him all the things that I talked about previously, in the hole on deck, and then now you're in the batter's box. And you can see he starts to coil, okay, right? And you can see like he's about to throw the ball, the pitcher, okay, and he's coiling. There's no way he can see the ball well at this point. There's no way. He's not. he cannot see it well. It's because he's coiling and this guy's throwing it like 3/4 ish, and he has a little angle, and that's the reason why it beat him, right? So if this happens to you and you're facing this guy and you know he's on the third base rubber, what I recommend is just open yourself up, okay? Giving yourself the ability to see both, from both eyes to the baseball. Okay. And what that's going to happen is you can still coil, you can still do everything like that, but you'll see the ball well, and then you'll be able to start getting barrel to the baseball, right? And you'll see this with a lot of players, especially like Shohei Ohtani. Later in the game, they bring in a lefty. The lefty's pitching from this side of the rubber, okay? And you can see how he'll open up with his feet so he can give himself a window so he can see the baseball. And now he can see the slider when it starts to come, and he can hammer the slider over the fence, right? You'll see it most of the time. If you're a hitter, you'll see this, right? If you're a right-handed hitter, later in the game, guys are throwing from the third base rubber and they're trying to execute in the outer part. So when they throw a slider, it's going to start from behind you and it's going to look like not a strike, and it's going to go over the plate or the outer third of the plate. So all we want to do is give ourselves a lane, okay? And so both of our eyes can see the baseball, and we're going to be able to give ourselves a chance to hit the baseball because your eyes will tell you if something is right or something wrong. In this at bat, he felt uncomfortable and he felt off and he couldn't pinpoint it. And he was mad at himself. And I was like, well, you didn't make an adjustment. During the at bat, your body was telling you, I didn't feel comfortable. This isn't a easy at bat. It was telling you. And so we have to make an adjustment. And if we do that, it's going to allow us to square the baseball up. And this is what I would do when I would face left righties that threw sidearm, that threw, from a 3/4 slot. I would open up, give myself a, a visual with both my eyes, and it'll basically open the whole field up for you. And you'll be able to still hit the ball over here if it's away, and you'll be able to drive it in, if it's inside over here, right? So this is what I wanted to share with you because there's a lot of players out there who are having these at bats and they're not making adjustments. And if you can make these adjustments quicker, and if you have a plan and approach before you go up to the batter's box and you start to execute it, you're going to basically become a professional. And the professional ends up getting success no matter the situation. Like if they find a way. And in this at bat, this is what I was teaching this player, and I think it could help you. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Hit that like button if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.